Hey guys, Brian with SunflowerAmmo.com here, and I'm going to do a little after action report on my 2-day camp. I'm going to run through it pretty quick to keep it under 10 minutes, so here goes. Pack, the Snug Pack, Sleek Force 35, great 2-day pack. I had a little bit of extra room, but it carried everything I needed, more than enough water capacity. I had the 2 1-liter bottles on each side, and the Gerber bladder. The Gerber bladder worked great. No issues with it. Fed well, even though this is not meant for a hydration bladder. These little clips, Night Eyes Figure 9 Carabiner. This is the 50-pound model. Comes in a 2-pack. I just hooked these through the grommets on my tarp, and this is perfectly sized for 550 cord. Made quick tear up and tear down of my improvised shelter. Snug Pack, Sleeper Light sleeping bag, worked great. I had a request for a separate video on this, so I'm going to do a separate video on this. I won't get into it, but it's rated down to 30 degrees, and it was 30-degree wind chill the night we were out, and I was toasty warm. So look for the future video on that. We ate MREs, so we didn't do any cooking. We did do some water boiling, and I actually got the little covered pan out of my little, I call this a little Boy Scout mess kit, and I tried to boil some water on the fire. This thing gets some weight in it, it's really tippy. I was pulling out the fire, dumped water out in the fire. So that's junk. I won't be using it anymore. I picked up a little Esbit pot here. Taller, better center of gravity, side handle, you can control it a lot better. So hopefully it'll work a little better than that little cheapy kit I had. Tent stakes. I took some aluminum tent stakes to stake down my tarp. I took them because they're small, light, and you can see what happened to them when I put a little pressure on them to put them in the ground. Bent very easily. So next time I'll take my longer steel ones and take up the extra space in my pack. The aluminum tent stakes are out. Lighting. I had 5 lighting sources. I had a little keychain light clipped on my pack. It did not work. So the old adage, 2 is 1 and 1 is none, have spares. It's true. Phoenix TK40, I just took it because I had extra room in my pack. It's really overkill for a 2-day camp. 3, 4, 5 extended camping. This light is awesome because it has approximately 250 hours plus runtime on low. But for a 2-day camp, you don't need a light this big. The little Phoenix, this is the LD2, similar to TK20. It's a double A light also. Worked great. Adjustable from low to high. Loved it. I also have my pocket light, which is on me all the time. 4.7 Quark 123 tactical. It puts out about 200 lumens. For a tactical light, it had good throw. You actually got some good distance out of the light. I didn't do a video on the lights because it was, by the time it got really good and dark, I was kind of tired. The Brunton LED lantern. This sucker is bright, particularly for its small size. It did not work well out in the open. It really needs to be used in a tent or a camper or a cabin where you can get the light reflecting back off the walls. Out in the open, it was just blinding. So I will not take this if I'm camping out just on the ground out in the open again. But if I'm in a tent, camper, cabin, I will take it with me. Firearms. I had the Colt Magnum carry. I chose it 1 because it's small, 2 because it being a 38 it could shoot some snake shot shells I had, and it's stainless. Has a little Bianchi holster. Extremely comfortable. Didn't even know it was on my hip half the time. It rides high enough that the waist strap from my pack fit back behind it. Didn't interfere with the draw. Great little gun. My second choice which I did not take because I didn't have this holster for it, which it fits tied in, is my Ruger Mark II. It's a great camp gun because it's stainless, shoots 22 long rifle. If you want to do some plinking, you can do some cheap plinking. Or if you want to hunt turtles, rabbits, squirrels, you have a 22 and it's a lot more economical. I did not take it because the only case I had for it was a soft-sided case, and it was pretty bulky, and I didn't have room in my bag. So since then, I picked up a little Phobos Kydex holster for it. Slick little rig. Can't wait to try it out in the field. I love Phobos holsters. I have them for all my Glocks. Can't beat them. Edge tools. I took my Leatherman Surge and my Cold Steel Bushman. Leatherman Surge, awesome. Use the pliers to pull tent stakes. I use the pliers to pull a pot out of the fire. The blades on the Surge lock as opposed to some other multi-tools. There's a straight blade and a serrated blade, and then all the other screwdrivers and all that. Bushman, tough, works great, but these are the only two knives I had. So I think next time I go camping, I will have a multi-tool or a Swiss Army knife. I have a couple Swiss Army knives. I love Swiss Army knives, but you had the pliers and the multi-tool, and it's a lot more versatile. But I have this Victorinox, I think it's a Ranger. The blade's on it lock, so it's a fun little knife. And then I have my old school Swiss Army knife. The reason why I like the locking blades is because on this knife I've been trying to cut my fingers off since I was 10 years old with the non-locking blade. But next time I will have one multi-tool Swiss Army knife. I will, what I consider, I'm calling this a medium knife, but I will have one smaller medium knife, either the Bushman, Ontario Rat 3, or maybe a folder like this Cold Steel Voyager. I'll have a small knife, but then I will have either a small axe, a large machete type knife like the RTAC 2 from Ontario, which this is a heavy knife. This is basically a small machete, or a small folding saw. I don't have a small folding saw at the moment, just because I haven't decided what one I want. But the area we were in, a lot of the wood that was available was hedge, which is extremely hard. So we had trouble with our small knives getting big hunks out or splitting wood. And you'll really be surprised when you spend a day or two out in the field just how much firewood it takes to keep a fire going. So if you're going to rely on a campfire, you better have something to split your wood, cut up limbs. One item that I actually forgot for the camper, gloves. Spaced it off, forgot all about them. I need to get a pair just for my camp bag because I have tons of pair of gloves in the garage. I kind of like these mechanic type gloves. They're thin, they're pretty abrasive resistance, and you still have a lot of dexterity. I guess the last item is paracord survival bracelet. Still on my wrist. I did not have to unwind it. So any good camp or trip you take, you don't have to use your paracord survival gear. You're doing okay. Last but not least, I have our fire starting methods here. The first one is traditional magnesium with steel flint. Don't like it. Magnesium is extremely hard to scrape. Flint, hard to direct your sparks. I had somebody make a comment about me using the blade of my knife, but I had a fixed blade knife, so I did not want to be bringing the edged side of the blade back towards my hand, working in close quarters. So ideally, if you're going to use a magnesium and flint, or just a flint rod, you want to use the spine of a folded knife to strike it. Worst case scenario, I don't want to be using this. Zippo worked great, no complaints, fired the included tinder right up. Small compact size, waterproof lid, can't complain about the Zippo. But my favorite was the Blast Match. Two reasons: one, you can use it one-handed, and two, changing the angle that you strike it at, you can really direct your sparks towards your tinder pile. Works great, no complaints. Go to sunfirearmor.com and get a blast match.